Why, hello. So, what's on the menu today? The acquisition of Warner Brothers, HBO Max by Netflix. So, when I like a conglomerate, no. Do I care for billionaires? No. But I like business and like strategy and shit like that. So I'm just saying from a strategic point of view for the best outcome and whatnot. This is probably going to be my advice. Do not make Warner Brothers and HBO Netflix. No, it cannot be done. It should not be done. It does not work. It's a very bad idea. Full stop. I know there's going to be some executives and some people who'll be like, well, oh, yeah, you guys had for a long time the gold platinum standard of streaming was like, oh, Netflix. You see that interface in Netflix? Perfection. But some changes in like maybe the last 5 years, you drop down a little bit, but you still like top tier or whatever in streaming or whatever. But in terms of content, it gets complicated. Let's say that. Having said that, and because I don't want to see the prestige of Warner Brothers and HBO go down like that, absolutely in no irrevocable terms should you employ the Netflix theory of distribution. No, absolutely not. No, anything. Oh, we do it. We no. Okay, so now that I established, no, of all those executives, no. So where we go from here? So first of all, while I would say the content of HBO Max streaming service library, I can't say of the international divisions or whatnot. I would say that it's properly stacked, not necessarily stacked in variety of titles that I would prefer to see. But I'm saying overall, you have some good, stable, good content. Advertising about those things, not so much, but we'll work on that. The interface, not so much. But what you do very well, the HBO brand, is actually what? HBO. HBO itself, the prestige of HBO. Documentaries, honey, absolutely yes. Limited series, absolutely yes. Except for the True Detective. I mean, True Detective is still better than most, but honey, perfection. Season 1. I haven't seen Jodie Foster, but I feel like that's good. That's probably like going to be close to perfection to it, whatever. And I feel like they're like, I'm not saying, but low-key is like, they're like, oh, if it's a man, maybe I could probably, like, that's the vibe they're getting, like, the critics and whatever, but that's either there, here nor there. But I'm just saying that the back catalog from mid 2000s, but some of it is perfection, but most of it is damn near. You have The Wire, you have The Sopranos, you have The Night Of, you have True Detective, you have Sex and the City for all its problems. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Okay, having said that, I'm gonna need you to pump the brakes and not be like, oh, let's bring it back to the heyday. No, absolutely. What? Not. Do not try to be like, oh, let's capture like lightning in the bottle twice. No, Okay, what we need to do is that we need to focus on strengths. For obviously, the people who pick in documentaries know what they're doing. They stay cooking. Like, I'm just saying. Um, the people they be like the kitchen is open 24/7. You know what I mean? In terms of original content, half of the time. But I'm just saying, when it's banging, it's banging. Game of Thrones, not to mention the last season, but Game of Thrones, it was banging. It was banging. You had people lining up for the concerts, for the museums. It was banging. Okay, but anyways, all that to say is that you do need to like calm down on the spending, but I'm saying not to fire people. I'm just saying not to release any new shit, any new upcoming shit. I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, this is a quiet people." Maybe investors a little bit were worried and shit like that. But what I would say to them is that you need time to actually assemble a proper team. What do I mean by when I say a proper team? First of all, we're not going to talk about the prior leadership and all that transpired as a result of that leadership. We're going to talk about what was let go, what could be recaptured, the limited things that can be recaptured. First of all, you have a lot of, not every executive should be brought back, because some of them, famous blunders or whatever, but I think a good majority of them have connects, have that clout, have that know how to be like, that ain't gonna work, and for whatever reason they've been ignored, or they've been pushed aside, or they've been asked to work on things that they don't believe in, and they've been saying that it's gonna fail, and they still have to put their name on it. Well, I'm just saying, maybe you might want to call those people back. Maybe you might be like, do. Hello, you still available? I'm just saying. I don't think, okay, fine. I don't believe that you're going to be playing your best hand by having some noob at some other different, like, even if there's like a industry, just somebody who's been in the industry for a while, but has been doing working from some other studio, doing some other things. No, you need somebody that knows the HBO format. Don't come to me talking about, oh, but this works at Sony. This works at no. You need to know that oh yeah, the culture, the people, the standards. You need at least, and maybe you need people, the newer people, to shake it up a little bit, but definitely people who know the format, don't mess with the format. It's just that the reason why HBO been failing, because they've been messing with the format too much, and it was like, oh, we gotta get sometimes, unfortunately, you gotta be like, oh, I can't get to my high day, but like, if I could just get one show. I'm just saying, not that there should be a blueprint in every circumstance, but I'm just saying that if you happen to struck it out with like a show like Game of Thrones, like, baby, like, stop trying to rework the wheel. I don't understand, but anyways. But that shouldn't be your thing. Your thing should be good quality content, because your name is what? It's gonna be everything right now. So let me reiterate again. Do not do it the Netflix way. Do not do it the Netflix way. Okay? Okay. So HBO Max, you could, clone. No, don't clone. As I said, I know. I'm thinking like Netflix. I'm like, no, HBO is HBO. And that's why you need that differentiation. Oh, yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. Netflix, be Netflix, and HBO be HBO. First of all, What I want more conglomerates? Do I want people sucking up making? No. I want different business. I want competition, but we this is where we are. So we got planned for the best case scenario. So first of all, Ted Sarandos, stay at Netflix. Stay your ass at Netflix. Hire somebody else to work on the HBO, Warner Brothers. It'd be better for you to actually have different people with different viewpoints, different ways, who actually work in HBO, who actually have some insider connection, who actually know what the fuck they talk. That the HBO and Warner Brothers is just not everything can be rolled in, or like I know Netflix, you're feeling yourself, and some of it is, yeah, you have right for yourself, because you'd be like, you got money coming through, that that the stars, the whatever. But what I'm saying is, that's let's be real. Like, you don't finish most series. That'd be a rare feat if I click a Netflix original series and it'd be like, oh, it has more than 1 or 2 seasons. Okay. You advertise the most random shows. Like, I don't know. You have buried within your catalogs things that people would like to see, but like, you're so like beholden to the algorithm that like people for years and for years that the algorithm doesn't make any sense. These recommendations don't make no, but you be like, but the algorithm works. Then okay, fine, whatever. Some of the titles that you see work, it'd be like what's that one with Sandy? No, sorry, Sandra Bullock, because we don't know each other. I'm just making a joke. Was it Bird something? Whatever. Make more of that. Like, but no, we didn't. Far and that was a moment, and that was a cute moment. But did we have any more of that? No. We did have Stranger Things, but that's like one show. But like the majority of your shit is like, they did that. Oh, that's cute. Or it's not really HBO standard. Okay? I'm just saying what it is. It's good enough for people to just watch, and maybe a few handful of shows that maybe people can get addicted to, but it's not the standard of HBO, Warner Brothers, the their back catalog. I'm just saying. Okay? Having said that, that doesn't mean that you can propel HBO and Warner Brothers to like, better than Netflix. Use that, that clout. But it will only work if Netflix stays Netflix and HBO and Warner Bros. Say what? They stay separate. Do not Netflixify or whatever, HBO, Warner Brothers, all that bullshit. Okay? You need to understand that it's two separate entities, two separate beasts. And you need to know that realistically, that even though they're gonna be they're competing against each other. That's the type of energy I want to see if I'm going to HBO, but when I see Warner Brothers, I want to see, oh, these are two completely different things. I don't want to see, oh, damn, I could find this on Netflix. The day I see Sopranos on Netflix, I swear. But anyways, okay, anyways. So now that we've established the fact that these are two separate entities, that they should be two separate entities, that doesn't mean that, what companies are always trying to do is that they always try to, under one flagship. And then when they realize that, oh, all these customers, these two separate and type of customer base clashes with each other, what they try to do, they try to separate it, and then people get confused, and then you lose money. But anyways, we're not gonna say that you're going to do that. Let's just pretend that you're not gonna do that. Okay, so how do ones establish themselves as, separate no, we're not gonna say separate ego because you do not compete when you do not compare. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay? Okay. So having said that, let's look at some streaming services that can boost the catalog of see how they do things, like you have a more curated vibe that I think that would not only benefit um HBO, but not really Netflix, but HBO specifically. Um I would say MHZ. MHZ has a very good I'm looking at their catalog. I'm not too in depth, but I really like the offerings of MHZ. I really like the offerings of Mumbi. I really like the offerings of Shutter. Yeah, I really like what Bloomhouse is doing. I really like the offshoot of like really independent. I really feel like HBO can be like a hub for independent film, TV shows and shit like that, like Adult Swim type vibe. If you know, you know. I really like the foray of like, being adventurous. Like, oh, this is only stuff that you can find the on HBO, the edginess of probably like I think the HBO started in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. I like the edginess, the rawness of the HBO back then. Um in terms of cash flow and how much I feel like this is gonna be like a growing people, but I don't really feel that you should be firing people right now, especially people that I mean, realistically, you're just gonna have to hire them back. I mean, of course, there's some people who are like, "Oh, what do you bring to the table? Oh, you're still here? Okay." Um, not to be heartless or not to be unkind, and these people don't because it's a difficult time for most people in the economy, and I do recognize that. But I do feel that hand them a little recommendation and have them work elsewhere or whatever. But if it's not in service to your company, if it doesn't help them, then But I find that if these people uh if there's already a culture, well, I think it's even having said that, if these people could be retrained, because under the last leadership or okay, whatever that was, if they could just be retrained or just I don't know, like just they have more tools in their toolbox or whatever. Because I think honestly, like all those um mass firings, and then blowing all this, like first of all, can we address the problem, the overspending? Okay. You can have to knit that in a box. I know Netflix. I know who I'm talking to because you overspend on everything. But I'm just saying that HBO is not like Netflix where it's like, oh, how you spend, how you spend it digital, like, it's like, it's like Gossamer, like the fragility of like the reputation of HBO. That is like it's if you make one misstep of like in terms of spending and in terms of content, like you fucking ruin the brand. Like I'm just saying, like how many times have you guys Netflix has misstep and people are like, oh, sometimes that's to be expected. But I'm just saying the margin for error is much. Is it higher or lower? I don't know. It's a more precarious position for you because, girl, if you decide to overspend on a project that doesn't work, And then after you gain HBO, if you gain HBO, Warner Brothers or whatever, and that tanks, baby, like, okay. So how about we calm down on the spending? I know all these actors, actresses, directors, all these people um want their 50 million back end deals or whatever. Um but I'm gonna need you to just, unless it's like unless it could be incremental spending that you prove that you justify that this is a worldwide event, like fucking Game of Thrones. Calm the fuck down on spending. Like, just come work on keeping your staff, um, building projects, building bridges, building a repertoire of like you. HBO, Warner Brothers could be like an artsy again of like daring, raw, like just like, oh, like just a new frontier of like a connective tissue for like artists, craftsmen of like, it could be artisanal, not too artisanal, but just the fact that it was like, um chock full of just interesting material that may be upsetting because, again, for instance, I don't know if you're aware of it, and you're probably fans of HBO or whatever, but this is the type of content that to me makes HBO legendary. You had a show called Autopsy or something, and they were talking about doing what? Autopsies, the gruesome natures, and it was always show late at night. You had like this show where the guy from Breaking Bad and the guy from Arrested Development, Mr. Show, Mr. Big Show or whatever. That shit was so off the wall and so like, you had the Larry Sanders Show. You had um so many different things that like a lot like, and I miss that, and I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying they should have work in the same vein to be like, oh, sometimes, like, because I know, like, oh, none of these things, and that's why, like, I feel that HBO brand in itself could be strong again, because HBO took risk and they was like, oh, none of this would be a hard sell for other people, and maybe that's why they fail, but they always took risk, and I'm just saying that if you learn to separate these two entities and not put it under one house, that you could bring it back to that prestige and that kind of like excitement or whatever of like, did you see that? Or like, oh yeah, Tales from the Crypt. Like, who was doing fucking horror? Like a horror TV show. Like, I'm just saying. Anyways, all I have to say is that case in point, this title should be "Don't Fuck It Up." That's pretty much the gist of what that should be. Pretty simple, right? Just don't fuck it up. Like, if this goes through, I want you to treat it like, I want you to put all your efforts into like, assembling a team of hot shots. They call it the A team. Okay, anyways. Of like independent people, of just people that you don't really see, independent like filmmakers, like different voices. There's a lot of people, and I know that unfortunately YouTube and all this social media, but I'm just saying that they have a lot of people on there that they're not big names and they're not big stars or whatever. And I know like Hollywood are so against people from the internet, just being just like them, just being in the same category because, but They make some interesting shit. That's all I'm saying. You might want to tap. I'm not saying do the whole social media thing. I'm just saying you can use some of the ideas that they have on those platforms. Don't get twisted. Like we only another social. No, it's okay. I'm just saying that they have ideas. Okay, and that we don't need big names. Just saying. All that to say, in case I didn't make that point clear earlier, don't fuck it up. What else? I think DC Studios. Just let James Gunn cook. Like, I don't think he has some heavy lifting to do, and I feel like he's cooking. I think it's like some slow cooking. To be honest, I do think that the rate at which he's traveling and the what he is cooking is good. It's getting better. I don't think the DCU is there yet, but I do believe that it can be, and I just feel like he probably need more resources, if I'm being honest. And I do think that you should really hit up a lot of like different creatives. Like have them be a part, but stop having like these fucking big name, like gobbling up fucking budgets. Like not, and just don't do mid budgets. Just do very slow scale, like just small, intimate, not terribly intimate, but just intimate enough because like just stop. All in all, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna do, but I feel like you have way more resources. You probably don't use them right most of the time, and it shows. But I'm just saying that if you guys can separate, be like, this is Netflix and this is these two different entities, and I'm gonna have a hands off, and when I assemble the team is gonna be that good. Then I'm not gonna be checking up. Like the next time we see each other, it's gonna be awards. It's like, ooh, awards. Like, ooh, like number one show in the like shit like that. Like collaboration. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see. Even though you own HBO and Warner Brothers, I want to see in collaboration. I don't want to see owned by if you I want to see the clear separation of like working with Netflix, I don't know, my brain, I don't know, maybe other people will be like, oh yeah, presented by Net. I'd just be like, no. But I don't want to say I wish you good luck, but I do hope that you don't tarnish the legacy of HBO. Because it's like I'm so tired of conglomerates. I'm so tired of big business just gobbling up everything. Like I really wish that there wasn't just a bunch of grandfather CEOs that are like, oh well, he did this in this completely different industry and completely different circumstances. He's gonna do well here, and then year after year after year after year after year of failing, then it's gonna be to the point where it's like, damn, we have to really sell this. It's like, why do like rich old white men get to like fail upward like since they just never stop since the beginning of time. This expression is just so heinous in like the corporate ladder. Be like, oh, this specifically here would have never happened if you weren't in charge and if you hadn't told these people to do this. Okay. I think we want him as the next person to take over this country, or take over this corporation. I think he is the best. Yep. working on a very short list. It's either the person who tanked this company, the person who made a lot of money in this completely different sector, but not that much money. Or it's like somebody who is like a complete unknown fire starter. And at some stages throughout their career, no matter how many missteps, erroneous decisions that they keep making that are so obvious, that are people who work under them who tell them in their face, this is going to turn out bad, they still end up with a golden parachute. They still, like, the way how the media and everybody refrains them is like with such reverence. It's like no matter what they'll be like, oh yeah, that's that guy who told who was like had that meeting that required everybody to come into work during a tornado and a bunch of people got killed, and he specifically said don't let nobody call out from work. It's like, and then the way how they spend it is like, oh, that's and mentioning that, it's like, oh yeah, there's just the damage that they do to communities and like fucking just the world, and like just being shit human beings. Like that's the annoying part. Like, oh, do we have to know about that? We just want to know how much imaginary money he made for this company. That's what we really want to know. That's what we really want to beef up. We don't want to hear about people dying and people deserving a quality of life. Like, here I am because I'm so hard up on business strategies and like finance and shit like that, talking strategizing for probably the bad guys. And I don't know, I feel like okay, so maybe they are a little bit bad because Netflix is like notorious for like they're pretty much the Pinkertons, like not the Pinkertons, but like what Pinkertons adjacent, but they're what's it, like the Rockefellers? Who's that oil baron? Like, like in the 1800s when they just keep strong arming people, and they were like magnets, and they keep like doing like brutal tactics, but like Netflix is like just does it like in the digital age. Like it strong soul people to like these predatory, it seems like predatory contracts where unless you're like a big name, a big star, you're not gonna see no dividends of the work that you produce. That's gonna be um kept and presented for all time on Netflix. And then the fact that I feel like the culture itself on streaming just kind of like not tries, it does, like it's like they're like one of the three tenets of having a streaming service is to circumvent like just equitable shares within the company between like especially like the crew. um I feel like the cast has a little bit more leverage, a lot more leverage than the crew, but like fucking A, I feel like you're the crew. Like they don't give a shit. Like they're just like, we hear you and we still don't care. Um and the fact that they all these things that they like the IT department and the platform that they house, they cost a lot. It just costs a lot of money, but not as much money as they pay towards like the CEOs and the executives, and for the talent, a few talent. So I do recognize that Netflix in itself isn't the type of company that I would be if I was in the industry, or if as a just a consumer, I would be rooting for, because they don't really adhere or practice to like I don't know, I would call it shared equity, like where, and I just think Hollywood as a whole honestly doesn't really give a fuck like about the crew. I know I've seen a lot of speeches, and I've seen a lot of actors and a lot of directors. I couldn't have done it without you, but yet like they're like the ones that predominantly just forever in that forever struggle of just trying to be like, oh, will I ever get enough to be comfortable? Not super rich, not super anything, just comfortable. And it's like every time it's like the answer is no. And I'm just like SAG AFRA and all these union bases and all these other things, like they fight to an extent, and things would be much worse without them. But like, what is their effectiveness if that as a whole they have long time accepted that, oh, these people who literally represent like the foundation, just the lifeblood of like just these studios, can't live comfortably. Like they would much rather pay 20 million, 50 million, have back end deals where they're like, you own this filmed in perpetuity or for 50 years or however long, all these great deals. And it's like they can't even pay. They would be like, oh, the industry would break down if we pay these people like 5 to 10% more or whatever. If they actually had share like stock and like actually had like a say, or like I don't know, I'd be like, do you really want to live in a world where we can't pay these actors and directors and producers like, shit ton of money, that we could just shift the focus away from them for just, you know, forever? Like, I'm not saying that people can't, the art of bargaining, darling. It's like bargain for what they worth, but this is like fucking, it's really fucking ridiculous that um the people who get to enjoy most, and like who actually get their money is the actors and the directors and the producers and all those other people. When they said they spend like 100 and something on the VFX and all the special, and all those people who on the computer doing all that shit, you think they, all of them, earning like a little? No, I guarantee you, no, they're still struggling too. And I guarantee you that they're working a hell of a lot longer and harder than any other actress or producer or whatever. But like, well, no, it's not the same. Stop trying to say that it's the same. It's not the same. You do not compete when you do not compare. I'm not saying that you're not valuable, but I'm just saying in terms of like what you actually bring to a film is not the same as what everybody, like the cast, like you can't just like hire an actor and just be like, well, act. Okay, are they gonna like hold the prop? Are they gonna make the props? Are they gonna make the costumes? Are they gonna be? Are they literally like, if you said, "Oh, I just want the producers, the actors, and the directors, and all those people that's regularly underneath them, just the first department or whatever." Like, oh, are they gonna do all these other thousands of jobs? No, then they're not one. And guess what? Everything you see on screen, besides acting, outside of acting, is made by these thousands of people that don't get paid enough. And when they say like, oh, a quarter of the budget goes to like the actor and then all these, yeah, but it's like they don't really go towards the salaries though. That's what they don't tell you. You see like this enormous budget, and you think, well, oh damn, this movie costs 500 million, 200 million, 300 million, 100 million. You think, oh, these people gonna be no. So, and don't even talk to me about like the protection of like kids, and the weird ass culture, Hollywood culture of like protect them like pedos, like not just. I'm not saying like Hollywood in particular protects pedo, but they have like um this lackadaisical, like lackadaisy type attitude with like predators, and how children are handled um in the industry. And it's pretty like marginalized, like people who are like marginalized, can't speak for themselves, that are preyed on, and in is just in regular society. Like Hollywood just like it's a different type of beat, like animal in Hollywood, because it's like they want to pretend that oh yeah, there isn't like a sexual abuse problem. There isn't uh like people don't cook the books. Like, or people don't like, it's like hella corrupt and like hella unregulated in huge sections, and probably every section. Well, not like, it's not like wild, like totally the wild west, but in terms of like communities, like children, disabled, um LGBTQ plus, like, the marginalized. And of course there's communities that I don't specify, that they're like, we do protect and we do have these things, and they just have it like on paper, and it's like optional. It's like all these things that we do in the real world, that are like, oh yeah, the laws will be is optional in Hollywood. That's all I mean, that's all it comes across. I'm not in the industry. I But every time it's like something news breaks and something happens, it's just been years and years, and it's like these big name actresses, who work intimately with these people for a long time, would say shit like, I never seen that, and I'm just like, it's what I'm finding out as I'm getting older is that it's a much dangerous thing when people are not like, people who have power and clout, and people who can easily like move the conversation, influence or shift things, when it's like, it's very dangerous for people to not care than to be incompetent, is what I'm getting at. Because it's like, when you just think, oh, I'm only concerned about me and my child, and me about my circumstances, and how I am doing, it's very easy for you to be like, oh, that's not none of my business. And I feel like Hollywood is not the type of business that anybody should be like, oh, that's not my business, because some wild, fucked up shit has happened and continue to happen because of that mentality. It's not my business. My family is good. No, I'm not the brother's keeper. It's like, I'm not saying that you gotta be like um super vigilant or super strict or whatever, but I do think that Hollywood problem is the fact that they ride on the fact that their image. They ride on an image and not necessarily about like actions. Like they would just be like, um be comfortable with just letting the world believe and just presenting themselves as caring custodians, that I'm the shepherd to these poor lambs and I care. And it's like, yeah, you care about that one individual. You care about people that you see every day. That you care about people you care about, but it's like, knowing how fucked up the industry is, you should care about everybody. I'm just saying realistically, you should. Knowing if you're a veteran, especially if you're a veteran, especially if you have clout, especially if you could throw your name around, you should be like, not today, Bucko. And if somebody recorded it, good. But I'm just saying, too many people just be like, I didn't know her, I didn't know him, and I find it very hard to believe also that a lot of people don't hear, and then a lot. I mean, it could be in part. A lot of people hear stories and they be like, oh, they tune that shit out because they be like, oh, I don't want to hear that about either about my friend or about somebody. A part of the I love so much. I love this business so much. I don't want to hear any type of negativity about the business that I, pour my heart, my blood, sweat, and tears, and that I elevate and that I promote so much. And then and then yes, it is willful ignorance. That's the point of what I'm saying. And then um I guess another variation of that would be people who, no, it's not really I mean, I think it is, because it's like people who, um, whether they're aware of it or not, they help like the perpetrators. Like they actively like use their resources and use whatever it is, means, and everybody, and it's like an open secret in Hollywood that, oh, this person, and that's another thing I don't understand, that it's like you have people like P Diddy, you have people like Harvey Weinstein, you have people Jeepers Creepers dude, and the people who like did all the fucked up things to like what's that, to the like the many actresses in the 1930s and the 1940s and 1920s or whatever studios, that it's just open. None of these people try to hide it. None of these people, or some of these, they do sloppy jobs of trying to hide of it, but most of them is like, it's so open that it's like, oh, stay away from that person. I wouldn't go to that or that. And then it's such ingrained in our culture that it's like, although the most we can do is just to tell you that, oh, just stay away from these people, instead of like just shutting down these people completely. It's like, no, the most we can do is that, oh, just don't be around this person. And then don't talk me about that, the, oh, a child, the culture too, about I personally feel like roles that like sexual, like the world is not like a happy place, and things do get even for children, but I do find that certain directors or certain people see children as just, even if they're, because they're actors, as just being actors and they're not children, and I'm like, they're still fucking children, like. And because if they're, because they're still fucking children, just because they put an actor next to their name, that doesn't mean that they should, and they should be allowed, and they will do the, like it should be like, oh, full stop. Let's not put children as like prostitutes. Like that's not put them in like high overly sexual situations that glorify like their bodies and like I don't know. Yeah. I was just strategizing about like fucking Netflix, and then this turns into the fucking critique about Hollywood. But that's just the nature of like, you know, my chats. Cause it's like, I don't know. Who am I doing this for anyways? It's not like a podcast. I'm not earning any money. I just wanna just share something with the world. But again, I'm like, I'm not expecting, and I'm not advertising, and I'm not hardcore doing anything to promote this video. So it's just mainly for my selfish benefit that I just do this, because all these videos are gonna have like fucking a black background with text. And that in itself should tell you like the type of vibe. I don't know. Lately, I've just been like clipping words or like smushing them together. I don't know. Depression? Hey, I wish it was long time no see. But yeah, that's that's my rambling for what day is it? I can't even tell you what day it is. Does it even matter anymore? I've been feeling like that for a while now. Like, oh, it's Friday. Every fucking day is the same. I'm supposed to say, "Oh, it's Friday." But like this timeline is just, I'm like, it's Friday. I mean, I do have this. I mean, this week, not so great. Well, other times honestly, I can't even lie. It's like every day is exactly the same. There is no love here and there is no pain. Okay, I need to stop. So, toodaloo. Bye.